Lemons Homebrew coming at ya. And today I've got another beer that was sent to me by the Canadian Sasquatch Brewery. That's a YouTube channel. And here it is. This is the Fra Gee Lay. It is a limited edition 008 from Karbach Brewing Company out of Houston, Texas. And the Fra Gee Lay refers to the movie A Christmas Story, when the father, Mr. Parker, receives a box. It's with his prize that he had won, a big prize possession. And when he goes to open up the box, he says, he reads the label and says, Fra Gee Lay. It must be Italian. And the wife says, I think it says fragile, honey. Anyway, they've got a sense of humor, and if you look on the side, you'll see right there is a picture of the leg lamp that he received. Now, one note that you want to make is that I just recently did a beer review of the Yule, Y-U-L-E, Yule Shoot Your Eye Out. This is basically Yule Shoot Your Eye Out bourbon barrel aged. It's not the first time that they've actually put this one out. They actually made this one once before in their limited edition 002. And they've done some other things with limited editions. They've made Bodacious, Bourbon Barrel Hellfighter, Rollin' the Hay. It actually is Rollin' the Hay. I just had to say Rollin' the Hay because that's a reference back to Young Frankenstein. And Cherries of Fire, which is a reference to Chariots of Fire. So I think they like some of their classic movies. And this is a 9% ABV beer. It is 37 IBUs. It is made with, I've got a list to read here, with 2-row pale, with Vienna, Munich, chocolate, Carafa, and crystal malts. And the hops are Spalt, Hallertauer, and Sapphire. But the additions are what really make this. It has ginger, cocoa nibs, orange peel, cardamom, allspice, nutmeg, and cinnamon in it. And then, of course, it's bourbon barrel aged. So the regular version, the You'll Shoot Your Eye Out, is considered a spiced beer. Some people call this a black ale. So, I don't know, kind of hard to categorize. I'm just assuming it's a spiced ale that's been bourbon barrel aged. Let's get this and cracked open. That's a mouthful on this. Wow, this is fragrant. I had to kind of slow down on my pour, man. That head was just building up. It almost has a slightly lighter appearance than the You'll Shoot Your Eye Out, which is kind of interesting. This is not really black. It looks like a very dark brown, or like a chestnut brown, but maybe a little deeper. So anyway, and a nice kind of tannish head. And look at that. I mean, that's a good two plus finger head on there. I'm going to try to get my nose through all that. Here we go. You know, there's one thing that's a little interesting and different on this is I get a little bit of like a sour note, like a sour apple on it. But I am picking up on the spices as well. I'm definitely getting the cardamom is just shooting through it, along with some of the cinnamon. Wow, it's like a grape. It's vinous. I'm getting some white grape. I feel like I'm getting some red grape. That's just odd. And like I say, a hint of like apple on it. I don't know what would be different. You know, I don't think there's an infection, but I don't know what would be different to cause such a dynamically different. I just had the You'll Shoot Your Eye Out 2 days ago. I do get like some of the roasted malts, some of the darker malts. I pick up on some of the chocolate on it. I get like a hint of molasses. But yeah, almost that sour note, that interesting note, and the viniousness really kind of rings out on this. All right, well, let's check this out. We're going to give it a try and see how this one's different. Well, I'm pleased to say the taste is not exactly following the nose. That's really interesting. It feels like a lighter body than the regular version. And in fact, I'm sure of it. It's a medium body. I expected it to be maybe a little more dense. This is a 9% ABV, as I said. The other one was 8, but that's probably due to the alcohol in the barrel. Yeah, you're getting this lighter, a little bit of a creamy texture on it than the other. You're getting this like musty taste from the barrels, like they're old barrels, almost a lightly sour component to it. You are picking up the spices clearly. I mean, you can pick up that the orange peel is in this. You pick up on the spices, but the spices are much lighter than the non-barrel aged version. Yeah, I just got some of the ginger, but I definitely get some of that cardamom. Got the allspice, the nutmeg, the cinnamon. It's all there. It's a little bit bready, so there's that a lightly bready component. I don't think it's quite as bready as the other version. I do get some of the bourbon. I feel like I get a lot more of the earthy and musty component of the oak actually on it. I'm definitely picking up on the oak, but it's very much this kind of earthy, musty feeling oak on there. A hint of some vanilla in it, and possibly a splash of cherry. But I would say that vinous aspect is an interesting component in it. I think that really is a game changer in this. Wow, what an interesting beer. What a change in the whole dynamics of this. All right, well, we're going to have to just rate it like it is. So first in style, this is a spiced ale. Boy, honestly, I liked the other version much better. That light sour component just really kind of unbalances the thing, I think, throws it off a bit. It's still kind of fun, though. There's a lot of complexity, a lot of things going on. I think I'm going to give this a straight up B. I'm going to go with an 85 on this in terms of style. Yeah, and overall, I'm going to have to stick it right at the same place. There's some things that are just super pleasing, and then other things that just really throw you off. So, I don't know what to say. But here it is. It is the 008 limited edition from Karbach, the Fra Gee Lay. And this is Kevin from Clements Home for saying, life's too short to drink cheap beer, and I will see you in the next beer review.